Well, I think what we get here is a very structured process of how to actually get into the process of looking at literature, writing, starting to write.
Iron sharpens iron, so you learn from your colleagues and also from students.
You made a commitment to pause, to reflect and to write. So that's worth celebrating. And with that words, I want to welcome you to this event. The Optentia Research Unit decided to organize a writing retreat. We call it the Optentia Usiba in 2025. The reason why we decided to have the event is because we have a large number of PhD students and early career researchers in the entity.
As you may know, that Usiba is literally means a feather, but figuratively a feather in the past, it used to be like the pen that people used to like ink and feather to write with. Also maybe in Nguni languages can also mean a pen.
So we decided to have this event for 3 reasons. The first one is for a growth reason, and that means that we want to contribute to the development of our people. The second reason, in addition to skill building of people, is to give people the opportunity to connect.
There's different people, like-minded, although from different research institutes.
On the one hand, you have the opportunity to really sit at the feet of experts and to be a sponge in that sense and just absorb what they've brought to this table that's really been decked out, if one were to view it in that way. But in other aspects also to network with others and also an element of mutual vulnerability, to hear from experts that they've also been in a space where maybe you find yourself right now.
This has really been valuable to kind of see what other people are doing, and also kind of like seeing that the types of questions and stuff that I'm asking, the stuff that I'm struggling with, that people are struggling in similar ways, but getting to different ways to answer those questions. And I'm learning from that process as well.
So I'd like to engage as much as possible with colleagues and also the supervisors in order to learn from other people's mistakes, so people who are further along the journey.
So I think for me, one of the most effective things from this retreat in terms of helping the students or assisting the students, or that can be valuable for the students, is this idea of you have a diverse audience that you can pitch maybe ideas to, or struggles that you have, concerns that you have, challenges, and you get different perspectives maybe on the same issue or topic, which is quite nice.
That is definitely one of the things that attracted me to the university and to study at Optentia. The collaborative culture and the open culture, and also the motivation to reach out to other universities, specialists in the field.
Finally, I think the idea of contribution is always an important one in Optentia. We want to make a difference through our research, and this gives our younger people the opportunity to start realizing the importance of the contributions that they can make.
I remember that I came to South Africa for the first time in 21, 22, and then we had PhD students. They were all white. They were all highbrow. And then if I compare it to what I see here, it's amazing. So, and that is a big congratulation to people that did that. The advancement that South Africa, that the students make, it's incredible. It's really incredible.
I have never been to an event like this, never. I've never heard of an event like this in my own country, in Brazil, so there's something that I could do there eventually. In the Netherlands, I had heard of events like this, like summer camps and retreats, but being my first time, it's nothing replaces the experience, right? We can have online meetings all the time, but when you are physically there in an environment like this, and connecting with people and creating some sort of attachment with people, it's a lot better.
It's not that kind of workshop where you leave and go home, you just go like done and dusted. This is okay, you forget about it. But you apply what you've actually been learning here. And yeah, I think, of course, besides the networking, they say iron sharpens iron. So you learn from your colleagues and also from students and so forth. Yeah.
Well, being a motivational psychologist, I always try and look at, what are those 3 basic psychological needs and how can we satisfy that in our students? Because I believe if we satisfy those needs, they can become more self-directed in their learning journey and in their writing journey. And I think this week has helped them in a very structured space and in a space where they can get feedback to feel a bit more competent.
Organizing work, PhD duties, writing time, and then well-being aspects and social life. Yeah, that's the biggest challenge.
I mean, it's hard to balance work, family and everything. So I think for me, it's all about focused and intentional time to really understand what do I not know, basically, and also to look at AI tools to support me in this journey.
And I think the stuff that we're doing is very unique in relation to the application of like machine learning and AI and helping us to get new and very interesting insights about well-being and the data that we kind of like have. So I thought that was quite nice to be invited to speak about these new techniques that we're utilizing.
It's an emerging field, it keeps growing and there are new tools coming out almost daily. Sharing some of these resources with researchers will help them understand how to enhance their research process. It's also some early feedback for me on a workshop that I'll be presenting in Barcelona in May. So getting some feedback from students and participants on how I can improve. It'll be similar in nature.
The value add I'm getting is on the AI tools, especially how to use them to my advantage to speed up the process of literature review or analysis of documents in order to publish my research quicker.
I think from a content perspective, learning about the different AI tools that could be applied in different phases of the research process was very useful to learn. To have conversations and discussions with others, not only more experienced researchers, but also emerging researchers, because sometimes the questions that they ask help you to reflect on what you do and how you do things.
So one of the big motivators for me to be here is to see how can I be a better supervisor for the students that's currently doing either a master's degree or PhD degree. So in this way, you can also bounce ideas of people that's been doing research for a long time, supervising a lot of students, and almost get some feedback from them. How did you approach these types of situations? What was important for you in your journey with a PhD student? But it also provides the opportunity where I can have very focused sessions of writing. So you're in this space, everyone is writing and coming up with ideas, and it just motivates you more to actually start writing and to maybe do more impactful writing in that sense.
I think my main goal is to, and maybe I can say this in Afrikaans, to learn how to write mooi. Ek wil mooi skryf, ek wil vinnig skryf en ek wil uitmuntend skryf. So it's about learning to be more proficient, to enhance skills in terms of technology, to learn how to be better at utilizing research strategies.
So they approach me with all interesting questions, and it forces me or it helps me to rethink the way that I communicate what I do in the Netherlands and also in Brazil. And so explain in different ways. And also there might be a lot of stress involved in getting a PhD. It doesn't have to be stressful all the time, so I try to emphasize that to the students. I just zoom out a little bit. We don't have to talk about your PhD all the time. If you want to talk about different subjects, it's also important.
Well, I think this is immensely helpful for me in the beginning of the process, and I think if there would be other topics that could actually inform events like this, that would be amazing. I would love to participate in those events.
The structured sessions are really valuable in the sense that I felt I have lost a little bit of my touch with the academic side and writing. when you move over into industry, it becomes a nice to have time to write and to dedicate. And you sometimes lose touch with all of the different types of approaches, methodology. So just sitting and listening to everyone's approaches, new tools that are emerging, it opens up your mind to creative ways for new ways that you can approach the research and potentially spend some dedicated time just on that.